Help the drivers.
You are with us now. To your knowledge, was there any policeman attacked throughout this period before the 20th? I'm talking, well, you are here for Lekki Tollgate, nowhere else. Was there any policeman attacked in that place? Or any security agent?
The voluntary organizers at Lekki Tollgate ensured that it was always peaceful. So there was no event of any policeman being attacked or any uniformed personnel at all, or even any peaceful
It's okay.
protest.
All right. What of any public building, police station? Was there anyone attacked, burnt, or attacked? Anyone in that Lekki area?
There was no form of attack. There was zero violence at Lekki protest. There was no form of attack.
Any incidents of cannibalism in the place?
There was none.
You know what cannibalism is? You didn't attack somebody
Yes.
and barbecue the body to eat.
There was no form of violence. There was no mistake at Lekki protest.
Now let's go to that day. You were there, you said, you told the tribunal. Yes?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Now, before now, some witnesses have been here and they tendered recordings of all sorts relating to what they said led to events at the place and what led to the attack. I'm mentioning particularly the Nigerian Army and to some extent the Lekki concession company. You proposed to testify regarding certain recordings by the protesters. Am I correct?
Yes.
Do you have it here?
Yes, I have the recordings here.
May I have it, please? No, stay there. Recordings now.
Bluetooth connected.
I will show it to them.
Be admitted in evidence are being objected to by Learned Counsel for the LCC on the ground that they do not know the content of the flash drive and will be taken by surprise, not having been served in advance with the flash drives. Learned Counsel for Lagos State Government are not averse to its admissibility today, and so also the respondent counsel. Indeed, the practices adopted at proceedings before the panel in the LCC's evidence was for the footage to be served before it was put in evidence. In the present situation, the panel finds itself, we no longer have the luxury of time with the 3 months extension granted for the panel's assignment, the flash drives will be admitted and the issue of taking cross-examination will be considered later.
Well, based on the precedent that has been explained to me, I wasn't served with any. I will oblige them with a copy, certainly, no problem. We are all here, we are not adversaries. We want to know what happened. That's all.
Two flash drives on labels are hereby admitted together and marked Exhibit A in the matter of the Lekki investigation of 20th October 2021.
I'm grateful. Now, in that flash drive, we have photographs, we have video recordings and all that. Before we begin to demonstrate it to the tribunal with your account of what happened on that day, the Nigerian army, whilst testifying here, made mention of a blood-soaked flag that was said to have been, something for a movie, and that this was what was used, to whip up emotion, that there was a blood-soaked flag and so on and so forth there. I see that in your own list, there's also a blood-soaked flag. Where I'm going is this: how do you authenticate the content of this flash drive, what you have there, the photographs, the video recordings, as to time, date, location, where the recordings were made? How can it be authenticated?
So what we did is that we included every picture, every video, every statement into the google.com drive. So
Into?
The google.com's drive. So what the Google Drive does is that it takes that image or video and uses the satellite to show the location, date, and time.
Is this demonstrable before this panel?
Yes.
Can you demonstrate it before this panel?
If I can get anybody's phone, just a picture, I'll put it in the Google Drive to show the date to the picture, to show the time, and to show the location to that
Right.
picture. And for example, the picture of the blood-stained flag, I took that picture myself. So what it did was it showed the date and it showed the time and location where it was taken.
Yes. So you can demonstrate it. Is it? Would you need Wi-Fi or something, or just a phone?
I do have internet.
You have internet,
Yes, I
so you can demonstrate at least one.
Yes, I can.
Okay. I want you to demonstrate it to the tribunal, so that there's no if and whatever about it. No, so that will.
I just want to quickly connect to the internet.
Okay, please do. Give your narration from your own participation at the protest ground, Lekki Tollgate.
Well, we started the process initially at Alausa, but then
No, on the day,
for
20th.
20th,
Yes.
we moved down to the island so that those on the island can actually have a protest ground. And then that particular day, when we came in the morning, very early in the morning, at about
Can you
2
connect this
a.m.
Can you connect it to the immediately? Okay. If you can connect quickly so that I can dispense with my learned friend here.
We can do that.
Not that one, connect the thing. I want to show something. LCC cameras.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me use his laptop then.
No, I just want, the reason why I'm doing that is there's a particular evidence as to the capacity of LCC.
Drive that I have tendered. There's a particular folder there that is titled "Where are the footages?" So this particular folder.
Where are the footages?
Where are the footages?
Yes.
Connect it clean so that you can point at it.
Where are the footages? We have here pictures of cameras that are at the toll gates, and not just the one camera footage submitted to the panel by the LCC.
So bring it out, let's see.
So if you see here, we had 3 drones flying that particular day of Lekki massacre. From the drone videos, there was 2 armed army officials under this particular toll. So this is the 7th toll by your right. There is a camera here.
Lord, I'm sorry to interject. Is the video evidence the witness referring? Is it in evidence already?
Yes, it is.
It's been admitted as Exhibit A, the 2 footages.
No, she's talking of drone, video captured by a drone.
It's in the flash drive.
So we need to watch the entire thing as a package.
Please, I think what you should allow me to do is to present the protesters' counter evidence I want to. He has all the time in the world. We want to show you the cameras that you have, that you didn't bring the footages here, that are at that toll gate. That's all. Please show the cameras.
So this particular camera, there were 2 army men standing here, which from the videos I would later present would be seen. But
Concentrate on the cameras first, please.
yes, but none of the footages from this camera in particular was presented. And this picture was taken on the 23rd of October, 2020. Presently, this camera is no more there.
Next.
Also, there are cameras directly behind, close to the power plant or the generator. If the footages from this camera is presented, it would show that LCC staffs were present that night, because it shows directly into the LCC office. And the LCC office was well lighted. There were lights in the office. So the only lights that went off were at the toll gates, where the peaceful protesters were.
Any other camera location that you can show, apart from the one in the sky?
And also, this camera is the exact same camera that was removed, which I would show in the next footage, the exact type of camera that was removed earlier at about 2:48 p.m. on the 20th of October, 2020. 2 cameras were removed, and the 2 cameras removed were directly pinpointed at where the peaceful protesters are.
Got that.
And I would like to also note that the major reason why the voluntary coordinators of the NSAS protests used that particular location as the stage is because of those cameras in case of any events, most especially from any hoodlum, so that we can get the footages.
Is that another camera location?
This is another camera, the exact same type that was also removed. So this camera shows directly towards Oriental Hotel, where the army came from, and where they parked 3 vans. One of the vans later moved towards the protesters, while 2 of the vans stayed there. And these 2 vans were the vans that conveyed bodies of protesters, which I will show you in another video.
Any other camera location? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Not the other one. Is that the
So
same?
there is a camera directly on the top of Oriental. That same type of camera.
Well, as LCC is not.
If LCC insists that they cannot find the camera, then I suggest we ask Oriental Hotel for their own cameras.
All right. Let's leave. The tribunal will determine that. Yes. Let's concentrate on LCC so that my learned friend can end his fee. Yes.
I've already heard it.
So,
You've earned it already.
so this is a screenshot, but it was also taken on the 23rd. I had to screenshot it because it was not sending, it was from an iPhone, it was not sending to the laptop. So this camera is at Sandfield area, where the army started shooting from. So this camera should be able to show the squads when the army came and where exactly they started shooting from. And it would also show when they were leaving and who and what they left with.
Are you done with the camera locations for LCC?
So this is the final one. This is directly in front of LCC office, right in front of their office. This shows the LCC office as well as the toll gate. So there are 2 cameras there. One is bent to show the LCC office, and the other reflects the toll gate. If the footages from these cameras are provided to the court, we would be able to see who started the fire that happened at the toll gate, and when the army left and the people they also took away. And it will also show that there were LCC staffs present in the office inside LCC, even till after the massacre happened. But none of these footages were provided to the courts. None of them at all, from all these many cameras.
Is that the final one? Yes.
Yes.
Still on LCC, you testified earlier on about some people who came to remove cameras.
Yes.
You have the footages there.
Yes, I do.
Can you please show it to the tribunal?
That already shows the two images of. So at about past 1 to 2, we were going to buy drinks at ShopRite, water and soft drinks for the peaceful protesters.
2 p.m. or
Yes.
a.m.
2 p.m.
Of what day and date?
of 20th October 2020. So one of the security, the voluntary security that we had to ensure that no hoodlums disturb or comes into the peaceful protest. His name is Ayomide. He called my attention to this man on orange, putting on an orange LCC jacket. He was taking down the cameras. So looking at him, I saw he was wearing like a torn flip-flop. He was looking very shabby. The only thing that shows that possibly is from LCC was the jacket. So I approached him, but he was speaking Yoruba to me, which I later called another voluntary organizer to help explain. But then he was like, no, that is nothing, no. His exact words where they asked him to take it down. And he called them cameras. So it was while we were talking that this man on blue and shoes walked towards him and was also talking to him in Yoruba. So this man is a staff of LCC. So he was the one that explained to us that they don't want them to steal their properties anymore. And when we asked, our question was, why are you removing the cameras? And these cameras face directly to the stage truck where the peaceful protesters are staying. And his answer to us, after asking him why he was removing the cameras, was that they don't want anybody to steal them. So the reason why we did not bother asking him any more questions was because earlier that morning, exactly 20th of October, at about 2 a.m., there was a man who we caught stealing pipes beside the LCC office, water pipes. And we took him to the LCC office. This was at about 2 a.m. There are always staffs in the LCC office. No matter the time, there are always staffs there. So they took the guy and took the pipes that he stole. So when we remembered what happened that morning, that was why we thought, okay, that is why they are coming to secure their properties. So we did not give it much thought.
Yes, is there any other footage relating to LCC so that we close that and then you can now go to the main event?
Yes.
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 Okay. After the army had gone immediately, you like it back. Okay, all right. Yes.
And
That's-
also, we have a video of one of the staffs of LCC
Yes.
locking the gates
On which date?
on that day.
Please bring it up because they said they were not there. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay, bring it up. The one locking the gate is the one you want to bring up. That's not it.
So let the video just go on.
No, you get to it. You have to narrate it in a way that it will be understood. Just deal with LCC for now.
This shows they were asking the LCC staff to open the gates and put on the lights.
Oh, okay.
So if this video continues, it goes straight to the LCC office,
Okay.
which shows there were lights there.
Okay, we'll get to that. I'm interested in the camera bit for now.
Okay, there is
All
no
right, so,
other
all
camera.
right, so now let's go back. Let's go back. LCC had cameras there, more than enough to capture whatever has happened.
Yes,
And the face of people.
yes.
Yes. Now let's go back to the event of that day. I'll start from when you got to the toll gate. You want to start with the call you received? Or is that later or earlier on?
So that day, before the curfew, it started like a normal protest, how we start usually with prayers. So during the prayers, we were already on our way to get water and soft drinks for the peaceful protesters. While on our way there, one of us raised an opinion that we should get trucks with huge lights and put at the barricade. And the lights of the truck should face the protesters directly. So we're discussing and we said there will be no need for us to bring our own lights, that there is light here. So as we're going to get the drinks, that was when we got information about the curfew. And the curfew was then put at 4 p.m. So we continued our peaceful protests, and we had to look around to make sure that there were no form of thugs or hoodlums coming from anywhere. Because our thoughts went to the fact that possibly hoodlums and thugs would want to come to attack the peaceful protesters, which is why they're putting the curfew. So we're thinking possibly that the curfew is actually made for the peaceful protesters so that the thugs can have opportunity to clamp down on us. So we started bringing in and calling in more voluntary security into the toll gates. So we had an additional 40 voluntary security to stay at each barricade to ensure that there is no form of weapons or violence around the peaceful protest. So we did a clean sweep. We told everybody to take 15 minutes and become a cleaner. We shared bean bags and gloves. So there are always cartons, huge cartons of hand sanitizers at every corner of the protest. So it was free for everybody. So they were there. Everyone, if you know you don't have, get one and clean this place for 20 minutes. So the clean sweep was not for dirt, it was not for papers or bottle or plastic bottles. We did it to take away stones, to take away sticks, to take away any form of instrument or tool that anybody can use as a weapon. So we made sure that everywhere was clean, down to everywhere. So you would see from the videos that there were no stones anywhere or sticks around the toll gates because we did a clean sweep and made sure that that place was clean of anything.
Yes.
So when we got the drinks, coming back, someone came to call me that somebody from the Lagos State Government's office is here and they want to talk to us. So I directed the person to the stage. Meanwhile, he kept talking to me on the way. But I said I don't have the time and I have a lot of things to put in together. He kept insisting that I needed to talk. So at that point, I got a call from a friend of mine. He asked me, "Are you at the toll gate?" I said, "Yes, I am." And he said he's coming to pick me up from there, that I should leave. That what they are planning at the toll gate today, my heart cannot take it. But I told him that nothing is happening, that is it because of the curfew? Because we already got information that the curfew had been moved. So it was no more for 4 p.m. It was now set to 11 p.m. So he said it is not the curfew, that I have to leave the toll gate. I told him I'll call him later, and I hung up. So while talking to this man that said he came from the Lagos State Government office.
Wait, please. This is your friend. Is he a government official?
Yes, he is.
Which arm of government?
He's a member of APC.
No, arm.
And he is in the House of Assembly.
Okay.
He usually comes to the protest.
Okay.
He's one of the politicians that visits the protest.
Okay. You don't want to mention his name?
No, I don't want to, because what he did was try to help me, and I would not want to put him in danger.
Okay. He's an honorable member of the Lagos State House of Assembly. That's all you can say.
Yeah.
All right. He said you should live there because something is afoot.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
So when the particular person, the mistake I did not ask him for his name. The person who came to tell us that.
Not the House of Assemblyman.
No.
Okay, this one.
The person who came to inform us that they are calling us at the Lagos State Government office for talks. I took him to the stage. Practically everybody saw him there. They came with a white bus. There were 3, but one of them was the person who followed to the stage. And what he said was that the governor is asking for 7 people who are going to represent the protests at Lekki ground. So he said we should bring 7 people, 5 of the protesters and 1 son, and in his exact words, 1 mental health doctor.
1
Mental health doctor.
amongst you.
Yes.
You have mental health doctors there.
1 son. Like,
Son.
yes, he did not say a lawyer. He
Son.
said a son.
Oh, okay.
Senior Advocate of Nigeria.
Yes. He said we should come with
Actually,
1
it's
son.
SCN. SCN.
Oh, that he said son. I'm just using his.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
And 1 mental health doctor
5 protesters.
and 5 of the peaceful protesters that are representing the Lekki ground. So I took him straight to the stage and he was talking to everybody there. So over 15, 20 people, and 1 person that was amongst us, Akin, said nobody is going anywhere, that it might be the DSS. So everyone started laughing that we are not going. So the man kept insisting, and he said we have to be there before 3:30.
To be at the Lagos State Government Office.
Yes, that they have bus here, that before 3:30, and he was now screaming that before 3:30,
Screaming.
like he was on top of his voice,
Oh,
before 3:30, before 3:30. So I left them. I didn't stay to know how they decided with him or how he left, because I had to go and pay the bus drivers that helped us to bring the drinks that we got for the peaceful protesters.
Right.
So while I was there with them, so we noticed that a lot of people were gathered by the left-hand side of the toll gate. So we started bringing everybody together, that the only people that should be there should be the voluntary security. So as we were just talking, it went on like our normal protests, everyone shouting NSAS, and we are having our SARS story from different people. So more of the bus drivers came in, because when we heard of the curfew, our main thought was the fact that we needed to get enough drinks and water
I
and
wanted
food.
to go to the significant, events of the
So
day.
while I was with one of the bus drivers that helped us to bring in the food, I saw people running towards the stage truck. I didn't know what was happening. People were just running towards the stage truck. That was when I started hearing the gunshots. So I just left the bus driver there and I ran towards the protest ground. Immediately I climbed the stage and I told the person on the mic that they are coming. I was just thinking it was policemen. That was my thoughts, because I would never imagine the Nigerian army would shoot that way at people, at citizens. So while I was telling her that they are here, they are shooting, and I was like, it's police, they are shooting. Somebody came from the back and he said it's not policemen, that they are army. So I was arguing with him that it's a lie. I was practically arguing. I was actually almost hit that they are saying it's army and you're saying they're lying, because I did not want to believe it. These are the same people I grew up with. I grew up in a military base, so I have never for once would believe that they would actually do that. So that was my point, that it was a lie. So while the gunshot was going on, I remembered that there were 2 blind women that I put in the tents. So we had tents at the LCC area of the toll gate. And we usually allow the disabled people rest there, mostly the disabled people, because we had different people coming into the protest. I was going to look for the blind women because I was just thinking to myself that these people cannot see. So I wonder what would be going in their heads hearing the gunshots. So while running from the stage towards the LCC, one of the people on the stage held my clothes, like I have to stay down, stay low. I was like, I'm coming. While running through, somebody else held me, that was Akin. I should sit here with him, but we have to stay on the floor and wave our flags. I was like, I'm coming. So I ran towards LCC. While running towards LCC, that was when I saw two vans, and it was clearly written, Awashe, and that was AWATSE,
Okay, written on it.
written on the van. And that was when I now believed that truly this is the Nigerian army. I didn't see any of them. They were just in the van. There were others walking towards this place. So we saw 3 bikes. They were military people.
Bikes.
Yes, they were sitting on the bike, carried. So they were going towards from the LCC point, and they were running through to the vans. So the peaceful protesters were praising them, like, yeah. So because we have noticed them in the peaceful protest from the morning. So seeing them going towards that direction, what we were thinking was that they are going to stop the whatever is going on there. So we thought the army on bikes were going to stop the army coming from Oriental side on vans from shooting. So we were praising them. Little did we know that they just came to survey, because they just drove past, and the next thing we saw more people coming with guns.
Bluetooth disconnected.
So I checked the tent, and I didn't see the blind people there. But I could not run past and go back to the stage, because as at this point in time, the army vans were already inside the Lekki Tollgate area. So they were staying in the barricades that we used to barricade between LCC and where we keep the mobile toilets. So while I was there, that was when I noticed that people were running, entering bikes and running inside. They were running towards the Lekki area on bikes. So there were protesters, some of them that wanted to leave because of the gunshots. A whole lot of people came and stayed. So while the gunshot was came in from the shanty, more people were coming in with their flags, and they started singing. So everybody was together with flags, because we initially that morning we shared flags for people that don't have. We share flags every day. So we gave flags to people that don't have. So everybody had a flag. The billboard then was still off, and the lights were still off. So I wanted to ask one of the voluntary organizers there to help and call anybody that he knows to ask why the billboard is off. Because that billboard was on till about 5:41. And it went off suddenly before the period of the army coming in. Same with the lights. So while there and the army started shooting, it was getting dark. And when it became darker, the army came in. More of them came in. They left where they were standing, which was by the other side, the oriental side of the toll gate. They left that area and walked down to where the protesters are. It was like they waited for it to get very, very dark. They were at that oriental area shooting for over 20 minutes. They did not come into the protest ground until it was dark. So immediately, one of the vans came in front of us and turned his back on us and started shooting. We were still in the LCC office. So a lot of boys were banging the gates. The LCC staffs there were trying to lock their gates with a blue padlock. So the boys, the peaceful protesters who were in the tents in front of the LCC office, were trying to leave the tent and enter the LCC office. And the LCC staffs were pushing them out of the gates and trying to lock the gates. So 3 of them locked the gates and went back inside. And the peaceful protesters were shouting that why are they locking the gates? Why are they putting off the lights? That they should put on the lights and see what is happening. But they paid us no attention. So I wanted to go talk to one of them that I knew. And I saw immediately that somebody was peeping through the door and was laughing and entered inside. So one of the security men is light-skinned in complexion. He was wearing black and black. He told us that it's the MD that called. He did not say, really earlier today we are going to off the light. His exact words that it's MD that called and say, make we offer.
Make we offer.
That was what he said. So they started banging the gates, the peaceful protesters, on the lights, because they were talking to the staffs. If they were not talking to the staffs, they would not be standing there and talking. And the staffs even pushed the peaceful protesters outside and locked the gates so that they can stay in alone there. So people started banging the gate. And at that point, it was already very dark, and the army was shooting everywhere. So while trying to put down my head and stay low, I was looking around for anybody that I would know around the tent area. And immediately I heard some girls behind me shouting and screaming, "They don't kill her, they don't kill her." So they don't kill her. So I turned and I saw that somebody has been shot. So everybody went there. A lot of boys started removing their shirts and trying to stop the bleeding. So I was looking to see where she was shot, because all I could see was blood everywhere. So that means she had been shot even before we were even screaming, and nobody noticed. So we're trying to stop the bleeding to see where she was bleeding from. So I noticed she was bleeding from the left side of her stomach. So they pulled their shirts and they were trying to soak the blood and stop the bleeding. While the girl, she was not moving. She was just laying there. Everybody was trying to, so people were shouting, "Pour her water." Some people said, "No, don't pour her water, it's bad." We did not know what to do. So immediately I just crawled down to where my bag was, and I picked up my phone and I called the ambulances that we usually bring to the peaceful ground, because we always have ambulance presence during the protest in case of water headache or people that are asthmatic especially. And they normally leave there by 5:30. That's their time. Sometimes 5, sometimes 5:30. So I did not expect to even see them there, but I know they would have recently just left. So I called them immediately, all the ambulances, I also called people that usually come to the protest ground that I know are doctors, and everybody said that they are sending ambulances, that they are coming dead out. Everyone was devastated. So immediately I went back to the lady, and I saw the guys carrying her to where the army was standing, because they were standing at the gate area of LCC office. They were not shooting at LCC office, because the tent is in front of LCC. They were not shooting that way. They were facing the protesters and shooting the protesters. So while one of them was facing the LCC and shooting, another person got hit. It was a guy, but his eyes were open, but he was acting like he was convulsing. So they rushed him also. They put the guy and the girl in front of the army people. Don't kill. So they were just shouting. So where I was, I had to go and meet them, that they should at least stay low. So the army, two of them, turned and faced us. One of them with his gun pointed, the other with his gun low. So the one that had his gun low, I knelt beside the girl and I was begging him that, please, why are people doing this? Let's take these people to the hospital. As we were even talking with them, that was when I noticed one of the ambulance coming in. So people were shouting, thank God, let's take them. So when they were trying to carry the girl, the army guy just pointed the gun at us. So we're like, please, see the ambulance. They've shot her, let's take her to the ambulance. Before I could even raise my head up, I saw the ambulance talking to one of the army men in the middle beside the peaceful protesters. And the next thing, the ambulance came from the very first toll gate towards Oriental side. So when the army talked to the ambulance, then he turned and left. While leaving, another ambulance was coming from the second part of the toll. So the second ambulance that was coming in and the first ambulance stopped, and it was like they were having a conversation. But the ambulance that came first spoke to one of the army people there. They were talking before he turned back. But the second ambulance did not even reach where the army people were. The first ambulance and the second ambulance were talking, and then both of them turned and left. That was what got everybody angry. You came to kill peaceful people, and you are not letting ambulance take them. So they sent the ambulances back. So while I got really angry and I was shouting on top of my voice that why would you send them back? So immediately...
All these things are recordable. They are the things you are going to show later.
Yes. So immediately, one of the army people present there, the one that had his weapon to the ground, did his hands like this, his fists.
Like this.
Yes. So I don't know if he was showing solidarity or if he was mocking us. But he did like this, and immediately he turned.
They raise fists like this.
He raised his fists, and he turned from us. The second one was talking to the other one, and the next thing, both of them turned away. It was like they were discussing that we're not supposed to touch these ones, because immediately they finished talking, they turned away. Before, I was shouting, let's take these people to the hospital. And one of them looked at me and wanted to shoot, and he cocked his gun, and a bullet fell. So I picked up that bullet.
He cocked it.
He cocked the gun, and a live bullet fell.
Okay.
So I could see the bullet from the lights that was coming from Access Bank, because there was no lights. The only lights we had was from the banks behind LCC. So I picked the bullet and acted like I was touching the girl's feet, but I held the bullet to my hands. So the guy was pointing, the army man was pointing his gun directly at me. So most of the guys, the peaceful protesters there, carried me and locked me in a car. So I was banging the car that they should open it. They're like, they're going to kill everybody. Let's just stay down. And so everybody was shouting. And the next thing, they stopped screaming "EndSARS" and started singing the national anthem.
Protesters.
The peaceful protesters. So we're singing the national anthem, and at the point when we're singing the national anthem, I noticed that the sporadic shooting reduced a little bit, because some people stopped while some people were shooting. Meanwhile, the two army people in front of LCC already left LCC and walked towards the peaceful protesters. So while I noticed that there were no more there, I was banging the door of the car. And the owner of the car came and said, they said that I should lock you inside. And I was like, I'll break this car. So he opened it and I came down. I crawled towards, because there was no more army there. They had gone to where the peaceful protesters are. So I crawled to where the protesters were staying to try and locate other people that I know. So while going, I noticed the lady and the guy that were shot inside that LCC area were no more there. But I did not have time to be asking questions. That I was trying to get to where the stage truck was. So while crawling there, I was seeing bullets and I was putting them in my bag. So I had a small bag to my chest. While going towards the LCC, towards the stage truck, I noticed a lot of people, different parts on the floor. Some people were getting attention, a lot of attention. Some people were getting like just few people around. Everybody was singing the national anthem. I was seeing different people everywhere. At a point, my clothes was stained with blood. So I thought I was shot. I had to pull up my clothes to even see, because I was just trying to be careful. So I just noticed that it was not my blood, possibly from all the crawling. So I got to where the stage truck was. And immediately,
You said you picked some bullets or something?
yes,
You have a bullets.
yes, I
Please,
do.
can we see? Are they spent bullets or?
Yes, I do. This was the live one that was cocked in front of me.
Give that separate. Let's have that one, the one that said Telegram or something.
Yeah,
Where's the live one?
this is the live one.
Okay. You picked it.
I picked it
Yes.
myself.
Would like to tender this. That's the live one. The other ones are extended bullets that you pick when you are.
Crawling.
Yes.
You want to tender the live one?
Yes, we tender them. I don't know. I want to. Well, we tender everything together. There's a live one, and then there are extended bullets, right?
Yeah.
I know Mr. Owens also wants to liven the environment, but I think we should pay attention because we represent the Lagos State government. The Lagos State government set up this panel to find out what happened. This is the most important part of the state. Yes. I don't want us to reduce it to compensation matter. We want to know what happened, what can be done to prevent it in the future, how to handle protests and so on and so forth. So my colleagues should take it serious. You don't want copies. was thinking you were no, when you laugh, you laugh.
Bullets.
No.
They have informed me, so that's why I'm calling.
No, they are not my bullets. They are, according to the witness, they are bullets shot at Lekki Toll Gate.
But they are coming in through your
On the 20. No, they are not my bullets. I'm not in the army.
I said they are coming in through your weakness.
Oh, okay. Your lordship is by way of speaking.
Yes.
Yes. If your lordship says a book is mine, a law book, I will say yes. But these are not law books. Bullets.
And we had forensics done on the bullet.
Wait, hold on. Let's take them in.
5 expended bullets are hereby admitted together and marked Exhibit B. Registrar, come and take it.
So, continue to give your account of the event of that day.
Okay, so while I got to the stage truck area, I was asking the people there, where is Akin, where is AY, where is, they don't know. Most of them were lying down under the truck, using the tire of the truck as a shield. So as I was trying to come out from the tire area of the truck, there were still gunshots going on everywhere, but the protesters they were peaceful, and all we're doing was singing the national anthem. So while we were there, trying to move around and pick the injured protesters that were on the floor, a guy in front of me was talking. He was trying to tell everybody to stay down and hide. So I was trying to crawl in front, and I was trying to get up. Immediately, the guy was shot in his stomach, and his intestines came out and splashed on me. So he was on the floor, and I don't know if he was dead, but we have videos of him on the floor and not moving. And also in the hospital, they were still praying for him to wake up. Immediately I stayed down and I didn't move for like 10-15 minutes. I was praying. So while I looked, I put my head up and I saw a lady. She was crying that she does not want to die. I noticed she was shot on her neck and her hand. So they were trying to stop the bleeding. The injury on her neck was not so deep. So one of the guys, I think he is part of the people that live in the shanty, was saying, Chelsea, bring Chelsea or something, look for Chelsea, but there was no alcohol anywhere. Because when we did our clean sweep, everybody selling, we told them we chased them away because we did not want any form of, it was because of alcohol that I did this. So there was no alcohol anywhere. We could not find. For Chelsea, he said Chelsea. It's, I think, yes. So, but there was none. So I heard the lady, she was praying, she was speaking Yoruba. Everybody gathered and they were praying for her. Meanwhile, there were other people in different places. So when I held her, she refused to leave my hands. She was tight like this. So she was just praying. And she was saying that we should join her to pray. So while I was holding her, my clothes was really soaked with blood. So I could not even look at her. I did not want to look at her. I did not want to put my head up because I did not want to see what was going on. because I came there to check to look for my friends that are on the stage. And while going there, I did not see any of them. So there were still people around. Everybody was singing the national anthem. So that was when I heard a familiar voice, which was DJ Switch, because she has been part of us, the voluntary organizers. So as I was holding the lady, she was praying, and another guy, not so far from her, was also shot on his butt, the side of his butt, and on his legs. So they were holding him also. And the guy he still held his flag, and he said that he's not going to die, that they should not worry about him. But people were holding him and helping him. So when I was holding the lady, she was still trying to stay strong. I was trying and see if I can move her hands from mine so I can go and meet Switch to ask her what is happening. Then I noticed she was talking to some of the army people there. Meanwhile, while all this was going on, the army reduced their shooting. That was when I saw someone talking. All I heard was matter, matter. People were just saying it's matter, that is matter. He was talking, and he was saying that he has children also. You people are my children too. That we will talk to them that they should go, but we should leave the toll gate and we should never come back. So I didn't really pay him much attention because I was still with the lady there. So when I looked at my back, there was a particular man that they were trying to lift up. So I noticed it was the same man that we told to come to the front of the stage. He was very old. So the reason why we told him to come there is because he told us that he came for the peaceful protest, that he stays in Ikorodu and he's going back home, that he does not want to stay in the tent today if we can assist him with anything. So we took him from the back and brought him to the front, that we should wait before the whole chaos happened. So I saw him on the floor and he was shot, soaked with blood. So I started thinking that this man that was just right in front here. While I was holding the lady that was shot, we're trying to see if we can get any phone or anything that we can use to call anybody. But most of the phones, there were phones on the floor, so many phones on the floor that nobody was even paying attention to. So we did not even know which is which. And most of the phones on the floor had their torchlights on. So I now started thinking, like, is it that they are shooting directly at people holding phones, or because I noticed most of the phones on the floor had the torchlights on, and nobody was even laying claim to all those phones. So immediately one guy screamed. He was shot on his hand. He was directly holding his phone. So that was when everybody around started saying, put down your phones. There's a video, you say, put down your phones, off your torchlights. So because like they were targeting direct mostly at those people. So when I noticed the matter that was talking, he put his phone in his ear, like he was making a phone call. And he walked, he left using, from the LCC office, he left using the 7th or 8th toll there. And immediately he left, it was like the shooting started all over again like before. So it didn't, because when he was around, it's reduced. So they started shooting again. But at that time, I didn't see Switch anymore. So I was just seeing different people. So I had to let the girl like leave my hands. So I saw people carrying injured and people that were not moving towards the side of the army. So they were carrying people towards that area. And I was just seeing different people. They were now putting some of them on the truck. So one particular person
Truck.
on our stage truck.
Okay.
So when I looked and I saw that guy, the boy that they shot, like I saw them, that his intestines came out. They carried him also and they put him on the stage truck. So I tried to let the lady leave my hands. So they were. So she was able to release me a little. So I just left her and I crawled towards the other side. While I was there was this particular person, his head, I don't know, but the guy was dead. So I just sat down there. I did not even crawl anymore. I just sat down there for a while. And I was just thinking that, like, what is happening? Are these people really army men?
Forget about your thinking for now.
Yeah, so I sat down.
The fact is what it
I sat down there for a while and I was looking at him and I was just feeling bad that there was nothing I could do. Because normally, during the protest on a normal day, when people come, wherever they can, I'm always rushing, make sure that they see the pharmacy or the ambulance. But at that particular point, there was nothing I could do to help. So all I could do was just watch them. So I crawled to the LCC area.
Calm down. See,
So I crawled to the LCC area.
I want you to, what I want you to do is, because this video clips, photographs, we are still going to show them, demonstrate some of these things to the tribunal, where you can do additional explanation if needed. I just want you to move fast on your Scottish shot.
So when I crawled to the LCC area, while I was crawling to that place, there was this particular guy. He was wearing white and blue jeans that the soldiers lifted him like a piece of rag and just threw him into the van. He was not moving. So that was the only person I saw personally that they put in the van myself. Not from hearsay or from the videos I watched. That was the only person I saw that they carried and put in the van. But the military, yes, they put him in the van. So when the army was carrying the guy, they threw him in. So I noticed legs in the van, but I could not say how many, and I could not really see. And I did not want to really bother about it because there was nothing I could do. I just had to crawl towards LCC to check for other voluntary organizers to see how we can salvage the situation that was going on. So when they threw the guy, other legs scattered. So they were pushing, one of the army guy was pushing the legs inside, like the van, and pushing them in. So I don't know how many people were there. I just saw them with this one person. So while I got to LCC, there were still people singing the national anthem. They did not stop. It was continuous. So I asked one person there that where are the people shot there, the lady and the guy? They said the army said they would treat them, that they've carried them. So I got angry. Like, how would you, it's like these same people that came to shoot and kill people. Because honestly, to be sincere, I still did not believe it was army. Like, I was still doubting. Like, I didn't want it to be true because I didn't want it to be true at all. But I was angry that they gave these peaceful protesters to the army people. So while we were talking, I noticed some of the peaceful protesters have been able to drag the gate of the LCC open a little bit. So people were entering into the LCC as a form of shield for safety. So people were going inside. Immediately I saw about 3 people that I know. They just came to me and they're like, "We have been looking for you, I've been looking for you, where have you been?" And they carried me into the LCC. But I was telling them I don't want to go, that there are people in front of the stage truck that we needed to help. They were like, "Don't worry, we'll do it in the morning. Let's stay down first." So we entered the LCC, and while entering LCC, they were sitting down there. They were these 3 girls. I think they are cleaners. They were putting on orange and black. They were just sitting down there casually, pressing their phones inside the office. So I got really pissed. Like, are you people serious? Why? And I asked one of them, who are the people to put on the lights? She said they're not the ones, so that they are inside. And the lights inside the office were on. They were just working casually. One of them was even eating. So I was just really pissed.
You mean you were angry?
I was angry.
Is a better word.
Because, like, with all these things going on, they just stayed there, like, they didn't care. So I was trying to see who I could talk to put on the lights. So I was asking for the names I usually hear. Normally, every day of the protests, I give them food, water, just to make them feel part of us. So I've heard some names, like I've heard Baba, I've heard Tunde, I've heard Bola. So I was asking, what of Tunde? What of, like, they're like, the ladies at some point, they stopped answering me. And the security man came to tell me that if I don't keep quiet and stay down, that I will go outside. Like, he would throw me outside to the army. So I told him that, are you threatening me? He said that I have to keep quiet if I'm staying here, because for the fact that he said I am letting you people stay inside there, they did not tell me to allow you people enter. So he was telling me that if I can't stay calm, I have to leave. So I told him that I'm leaving. So most of the people there that I knew, Kamsi, Sheye, Yaks, so they were in LCC, they were putting their heads down. They said that I have to stay there. But I left there, and I wanted to go back to the stage area. So I crawled. When I was crawling back, I noticed the army over there. So I saw another bullet, which I was picking up. Immediately, I saw one of the army guys standing directly under the toe. His gun was across his chest, and he was holding a black torchlight with his left hand. And he was using his right hand to also do the same thing I was doing. He was picking bullets. He was holding a black torchlight. So immediately, when I raised my head up, our eyes met. So he dragged his gun, but before I could drag his gun, I ran towards where the crowd was. I just quickly ran inside, and I just stayed. And I was like looking from afar to see if he was going to move. And then he just put back his gun and continued with his torchlight. So, and when I saw in the middle of the stage truck, the army there too, they were also doing the same thing. At this, they were picking bullets.
Oh, so shells, bullet shells.
So they were just picking with torchlights. So at this point, the shooting calmed down a bit. I didn't know what the time was, because at a point I went on live on my Instagram and my phone died after I took the picture of the flag, the flag that they used to hold to stop the bleeding. So because somebody said we should stop using dirty clothes, that is going to infect it. The only clothes we had there, the only thing we had was flags, because that was what was shared for everybody. So that, if you notice from the videos you will see of injured protesters, you will see it was flags that they used to tie their legs. So that there were bloody flags everywhere. So there are so many pictures of blood-stained flags, apart from the one that I even took myself. So while I was trying to run and go inside, I noticed one of the vans turned and went towards the third toll. It was going back. So at a point, the soldiers started walking. Some of them were with torchlights, some of them were not with torchlights. And I noticed all of them were wearing hats, like cap, face cap, or this, I think they call it bucket cap. I don't really know the name. So they were all wearing caps. So I wasn't even trying to even look. Maybe God will help me, I will see somebody that I know. But I could not even see any face. And they were leaving. So while they left, we were trying to see people we can help. At that point in time, people with their personal cars and some ambulance stayed back. When I was in LCC, I could still see 2 ambulances parked in front of Oriental. They didn't leave, but they did not just allow them come in, and they did not want to go. So they stayed parked there. So some ambulances were already coming in, and cars, personal cars. So they started putting people. I noticed a lot of people were coming from the Shanti area. So some of the guys said that they helped carry some people there, that they can help them remove the bullets, but they started bringing them out. It was not up to 30, 40 minutes because we still brought a lot of water. We were trying to, some people fainted, some people collapsed. While I was standing at the other toll gate area, I saw that our stage, where we keep our speaker, it's a big rod, like it's a pole. I saw that everything was on the floor, they were broken. So the guys there said that is army that pushed it. And they said when they broke down everything, that when they even pushed it, it fell on a peaceful protester. The speaker from up fell on someone. So little did I know that the person it fell on was my friend. I didn't know then.
What's his name?
He's a boy, his name is Lekon.
Lekon.
Yes, Lekon Sanusi. So I didn't even know it was somebody that I knew. They were just telling me that it was army that pushed it, and it's even the speakers from up fell on somebody. So we're trying to share water and trying to salvage the whole situation. Ambulances were coming in now. Private cars were coming in to help carry protesters away from that area. So it's not up to like 40 minutes. We're at LCC. Everybody was trying to help with something or with someone. Who else is around and what can we do? The next thing I saw tear gas coming from Oriental side. Tear gas. So I did not even want to think about it. When I looked, I was thinking possibly it was the fire. Because the fire started when the army was around.
Fire.
The fire on the toll gates. The army were present when the fire started. Their vans were there. So I did not even think, I just thought possibly it was like a stick or from anywhere that is on fire. So it's now when I looked that I saw it was a tear gas. Then another one came in. So the next thing, somebody just ran to me. It's my friend. He was like, let's leave now. Let's leave now. There are policemen here. I was like, policemen again? Like, what happened? So he was shouting that we have to go, that the only way out for us is through the water, that he have asked the ambulances that came, that there are also policemen at Lekki area, phase 1 area, and there are policemen at the Oriental area also. So everybody was just trying to pack up their stuff to see how they can leave. So the guy told me that one of the voluntary organizers has been looking for me, that they said the DSS is coming to carry us, that maybe it's DSS that was around. I said, what did we do? He said that they said we are the terrorists in Lagos. So we started leaving the place. That was when we now wanted to leave. So the guy was like, and now that the fire at the toll gate was increasing, now they will see a lot of reasons and opportunity to use to kill people. So I left everything I was trying to put together and we started running towards the water side. That is where the shanties are. As I was going towards the water side, we stood there. So somebody said they have a canoe. Two guys said that they can pad, like they can row with the canoe and everything. So we're waiting for another paddle. We're looking for paddle. So the next thing, I just saw a man on a white clothes, like he was wearing white and white. He was with some guys. They are policemen, but they did not wear police uniform. The ones I saw, the two people I saw, they wore these SAS jackets, and the ones at the back that were coming in were in a police van. So the guy wearing white and white, point blank, a guy in front of us, he shot him straight, like face to face, very close range. So immediately he shot him, everywhere there, like everybody scattered, like we were trying to enter the boat to cross to the Koi area. Then everybody started running. The police, point blank. There was no altercation, no nothing. So the policemen faced the water, because a lot of people have been entering, they faced the water, and they started shooting into the water. They were shooting at the people that were trying to get boats. They were just shooting everywhere. So that was how we ran away from that place. So I was thinking, so what is happening? Because now it was just, if I see you, I shoot you. That was going on.
The person wearing white, how were you able to, I don't know, it was a policeman, could have been one of you?
He was with the policemen, and he was holding a gun. He was standing with them.
Was white, wearing white?
He was wearing white, and there was a police vehicle there. I don't really know how to pronounce Yoruba. Clearly, it was now later, I was telling somebody that what was on the van was Morocco Division.
Morocco.
So it was not, they said it's Maro, because I was telling somebody that they wrote it was Morocco that was there, that they wrote on the van. So somebody now said, no, that is Morocco. So even when we were running, the people at the shanty said that person is the DPO of Morocco.
Which person?
The person on white and white.
Okay. The one wearing white.
White and white.
That shot directly, point blank.
Yes.
Somebody said it was DP of Morocco.
It was not somebody. Like the people at the shanties, like almost all of them there, they said that's DP of Morocco. Everybody run. They were just talking, scatter. This one had died. So I don't know, like everybody started running. And at the point, like we were just standing, I didn't know what was going on. So a car just came from nowhere and just dragged me and pushed me inside. Before I could look like what is happening, I now saw that it's like 3 of my friends, that they have been looking for me since. That a lot of people have been carried to the hospital. So we left. We left and we were going to Lekki phase 1. While we were at phase 1, we saw a whole lot of people around that were looting. So we caught them with the guys around. We caught them, some of them escaped. These people were carrying weapons. We caught them and we put them in front of our car, right there. So we counted, there were 14 that were caught. A lot of boys living around Lekki area too, that were part of the protests, that were going home, joined to be carrying them from. So they were saying, na them say make we come. Like we're asking them, so we have the videos. Like who asked the people? They said, na them say make we come. Like, so they were just there. And when we took them to, it was the next morning, because we had to, that night, when we were all there together, there were some boys that said they are going to stay there with the 14 of them, with a lot of things that were stolen, clothes, shoes. Somebody even carried an 85 inches television. That you had in mind, like you did not even think of if I'm running. Like they were not afraid. So they stole different things that were there. With everything that they looted, 14 of them that we caught, some of them ran away and escaped. So some boys living around Lekki Phase 1 that were peaceful protesters said that they are going to stay there with them until the next morning. That they're not going home. That which home are they going to after all the chaos? So I had to go beside. There was an hotel there that most of the peaceful protesters and a church that was open that said everybody from the Lekki Tollgate protest should come and sleep there. So some of the pastors in the church, they came out and they were trying to use their cars to help people and take them there to sleep. So the next morning, when I came out, I saw them that they were taking the 14 hoodlums to the station. And when they got to the police station, they called me and they said that the police said they are not their business. They did not take them. Even with everything that they stole and everything, the evidence of everything that they stole, that the police said that they are not their priority, that they should carry them and be going. So they did not arrest these 14 people that were said to be, that stole, that were caught red-handed. Meanwhile, they were going that morning arresting peaceful protesters that were holding flag, and they left the people that were stealing. So while we were going, we went to Phase 1, and I saw over 21 policemen there. One of them told me that they have given them the order to shoot on sight. That is begging me now from a father to a daughter that anywhere I can go and hide, I should go and hide. That's what they are doing now. That's when he just saw us walking towards where we're going to stay. He was talking to us. Yeah. Now we should go and look. So even the people that called me from the police station when they took the guys to, they said we should leave. Well, everybody should go and hide. That's from the radio. They heard the man picks a radio call. So because the first question he asked me,
Mr. Ibrahim, like
yes,
I said, let's make
the
it
first question he asked me was, can they track back walkie-talkie? I said, what is walkie? Which he said like a police walkie-talkie. That if they come now and they want to listen to a recording of so date and so time, can it be done? I said it is possible. He said, yeah, like let us do it for the policemen, the police station in Lekki Phase 1. This is what they heard when they carried the people that stole there. That somebody called on the radio and said, just kill anybody you see on the road, just be shooting them, let them be going to their houses. That was what he said on the radio. That the way and manner we can come to Lekki Phase 1 police station and get their radios and try and get that date and time and listen to the conversations. So while I was trying to go towards where they called me that they were staying, we had to pass the toll gate because it was at Oniru area. One of the policemen told me to drop the stupid thing I'm holding on my hand.
Stupid thing?
Yes, because I was holding my phone. I had to leave my phone on camera in case of anything. So he said, drop that stupid thing. So I thought he was talking about my phone. The next thing, he even injured me. I still have this scar. He came and he dragged, because I still had my flag and my phone from the previous day. So he dragged my flag from me and threw it on the floor. I said I should get out. They started cocking their guns. So the people from the shanty started coming out. People started coming out. That these people, they're just passing. I allowed them to be going to where they're going. So it was when the crowd started coming that the policemen now backed down. There were over 21 policemen there. At the Lekki toll gate, besides Spa, there were policemen all over that area. So one of the policemen now came and told them that why are they cocking their guns? That they should stop, that let us go to where we are going to. So that was when they stopped. One of them was still looking at us and he was still pointing us that you people, you idiots, you stubborn people. He was just making a lot of comments. So one of the people at the shanties now called me that, auntie, I know you, come and see something. He now carried me to he said that at about 3 a.m. that the policemen were still around, that was the time that they left. That they showed me blood, that is the one that dragged the person to that area. Let the person see if he can get help for that person that was shot. He now showed me, he said, see the person's watch, see the person's face mark on the floor. But he saw policemen coming to meet him. He now had to run back to the shanties. That the policemen carried the person. The blood mark was still there. The blood stain, it was still there. He said there are a lot of people that they carried into their shanties. That we should tell anybody that is looking for, that some of them have come to carry them in the night. Some of them that were injured. That anybody that is looking for anybody, we should tell them to go to Reddington or Grandville. That if anybody asks us that they are looking for somebody, that the people that they helped, they put them in private cars to go to Reddington or Grandville. That anybody that is asking or looking for, and I told him like, thank you. So when we are now going towards the Oniru side, where we were going back home, so one of the policemen came back from left where they were there, came back to meet us with two other people, and told us that yes, that he has cornered us today, that this is where we shoot us, and he started, he cocked his gun at that area. So some of the protesters were sitting under a tree there, people that could not go home. Then people in Oriental Hotel that could not go home throughout. So then people started looking. So it was not like the one of the men now came and said, what are they doing there? That they should move. So it was the same person that threw my flag on the floor and cocked his gun that he was going to shoot. So I now asked him, so if you can throw the Nigerian flag on the floor unprovoked, a flag that stands for Nigeria and the people, that means you can throw Nigeria and the people on the floor unprovoked. He now told me that, hey, Chebimi, you know something. And like, he now started cocking his gun. And I noticed policemen at the Oriental Hotel started shouting, hey, stop that, stop. So the police, there were a lot of policemen in Oriental Hotel, over like 18. It was not army people that were there. They were policemen, dressed up and kitted policemen.
Anyway,
so that was how we were able to leave and go back home from that day.
okay. Now, we will go to this video later, but the aftermath.
The video will not be today.
I wanted her to finish the narration, and then we can, in terms of victims and all that, did you visit any of the hospitals and all that? That's what I want you to tell me.
Yes, so we had to start getting hijabs, face masks, so that we can cover our faces and
You need to be fast.
and visit the hospitals. So we went to Grandville Hospital, and the doctor was very helpful there. He even showed these are the people. So even when we were in the house and we did a video chat, and he explained the situation, and he said he was treating them for free. And he told us that even the governor came, but he said he's not collecting any money, that he's not taking any money from anybody, that he's treating them for free. So we went to Lut also, and we spoke to one of the nurses there. There was one of the guys that, because they told us, even in Reddington, going to Reddington, we saw one of them, he was dead already, yes. So it was the same guy, the same person that was helping people and putting them on the truck. That was the same person in Reddington Hospital that died. And that was the same person the governor said was not at the toll gate.
Okay. That the person that was not at the toll gate.
Wasn't her. So we have pictures and videos of him at the toll gate.
Okay. Yes, go on.
So he died through they used a gun to crack his skull, and he landed and he fell on his forehead also. So that was how he died. So the people that came throughout that night, some of them said that a lot of them there were not breathing, they were lifeless and everything. So a lot of people started making chaos, let us see all the people, because that morning it now became another problem to see injured victims. Hospitals were not allowing us to see them. So when I went to Lasut, the nurse in charge of the emergency area by the right, she told me that there were plenty people, that even different hospitals were bringing them, that her book full. She could not write any name again. She was just putting anybody that they come, NSAS, because they said we should choose them for free. But what are the hospitals? So one of them told me, see the drugs that they brought for him, see the treatment and everything. He does not have money to pay, and nobody has paid, so he cannot take them. So we now had to gather money together and told the nurse to be giving the medicine. So all of them there said the same thing. So we noticed 3 of them, they were still sleeping. They said they still had the bullets in their body. They can't remove it because it was situated in a dangerous position. One of them, his sister is a policeman. She's a policewoman. So we were able to get her number. We called her to explain, and she was crying. And even in their office, they told them that they should not talk about what happened in Lekki at work. So now, see, our own brother is now in one of the victims in the hospital. So we're there with the victims in the hospital. I decided to go and try and see if I could see the CDD, they call him DCDD or something. So when I went there, I asked for other information there. That was when one nurse told me that one of the people there, his name, they call him Unknown Michael. Unknown Michael. Because most of the people, they don't have any identification on them through the whole process of trying to live, and most of all those things were lost. So they named him Unknown Michael because nobody had laid claim to him yet. And he got a bullet to his head, close to his brain. But they said that he would get better. So while we're trying to look at every other person, there were like 6 of them there that got bullets to the head. So we're trying to get everybody to see how we can help out, what they need. That was when we started putting funds together to make sure that they got what they need. So we came back the next day, and like 3 days later when we went there, they said Unknown Michael is dead. So I now asked that who else died. She said she cannot give me that information, that I should go and ask, that they told them not to talk about it, that I should go and ask the DCCD or something. So I went to that office. We had to like wear hijab and had to like cover our faces, and we went there like, okay, we want to see the DC. So somebody now told us and said that we have to send a mail to Lawsuit something, because we told them that we are family members that were around. So one of the nurses now told me that Unknown Michael's parents actually came, because we posted most of the pictures online of people that we have seen in the hospitals that have no relation on anything. So somebody was able to recognize him, and Unknown Michael, and they came. So the day they came, the next day, that was when he died. So she now told me that the mom and the sister came, but they said they should not talk about it, they should not tell us. I was like, can she give me the mom and the sister's number? Said no, that she cannot. But Unknown Michael, that his name is Gabriel Ayola Adedumbe. She now Ayola Adedumbe. Yes. So, and he died. So when I spoke to the sister, she told me they neglected him. He had injuries on his body, the back of his butt and everything. They were not turning him. So most of them, they kind of like neglected them. So when I was speaking to one of the doctors there, the one I met when I was trying to have a meeting with the DCD or something, so he now told me that if I want to get the names of those that died, in his exact words, I even did a video of him, but he was not aware, that if I want to get the names of those that died, that I should send a mail to Lawsuit, because I told him that we're the representatives at the panel and at the toll gates, that we're trying to get information. He said I should send a mail because they're not supposed to talk about it. But I told him that I know Gabriel I know Gabriel. So I told him that I know Gabriel. That I know Gabriel. He now said that, okay, that I know Gabriel. I said, yes, that I've been the one coming here to take care of Gabriel. So he now said, oh, okay, that if you know Gabriel, then that is one of the people that died. And that was what he said, that Gabriel is one of the people that died in lawsuits. So when we were now talking, I now told him that we that were like the voluntary organizers of the protest, we are just trying to put evidences together if he can help us with them. And he said he'll be glad to help us, but he cannot. That they have told them that they should not talk about it, they should not listen to any give any interview or allow anybody to come and ask questions if the person is not a family member. So that was what they said, if the person is not a family member. And I said, okay, what if the family members come? He said, if the family members come, they have to go through. He now told me what Gabriel's mom had to do before they were able to even allow her take care of or see him. It was a very stressful, long process that can even annoy somebody and you will just leave your son or your daughter there to die. It was a very long procedure that they told her, even when she brought his birth certificate, they told her to go and bring pictures of the pictures of everything. So it was just telling me about everything that they have to do. But he told me that even him talking about it right now, it can even get him in trouble because they have told them that nobody should talk about it anywhere, not anywhere at all. So that was how we could not even see some of the injured and dead people because all the hospitals started backing out.
Yes. On that circular, on the information that they should not talk about it, we'll be applying for subpoena on a particular official of the Lagos State government. Yes. No, we'll finish with this. We need to back up.
How much more time does she require for our evidence?
So it's now for us to link with the.
No, we're not doing that today.
No, not today. Yes, not today. What I'm saying is that we'll be asking for subpoena to be served on administration and HR. Gajumo. KF. Yes. Internal memo dated 30th October 2020 to all HODs and all staff. Gajumo KF. Yes. The memo is dated 30th October 2020. We'll be asking for a subpoena to be issued on him. Is it subpoena or witness sum or whatever it is that the panel issues?
We could issue either.
Yes, just to corroborate this statement that.
Are you sure he's going to do that?
I have the document. So what are you talking about? No, he should come himself. It's not my document. He should bring it. That's why I'm giving the information of the document. Excuse me, Mr. Womkoko.
Yes,
You are representing us here. We want to establish the truth. This witness has said there was instruction that they should not talk about victims to all the hospital staff. And I'm telling you that there's such a memo. And the person who issued is Mr. Gajumo. So, and I said, you bring the Mr. Gajumo with a witness summon so that you can see that she's not lying.
I'm sorry, I'm saying she's lying.
No, the way you are treating it as
you can't ask them to bring someone and corroborate somebody's evidence. You can ask them and produce a document. But to say you should come and corroborate what somebody has said.
Excuse me.
And
I
we are going
said
to oppose that to-
I said to corroborate what she is saying.
No, you
To
can't
show,
do that.
and she doesn't need to. Once the document comes.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, sir.
No,
You can't ask the tribunal to.
Are you speaking for Mr. Gbajúmọ̀?
No, I'm opposing. If the purpose of your asking for the man to come is come and corroborate, I don't know under what commission of our law that's possible.
Okay.
If you come and tender a document.
Okay, you should not come and corroborate. We
Uh-huh.
are asking for Mr. Gbajúmọ̀ to be brought here. The memo is not only that, even WhatsApp messages.
Okay.
Yes,
That's not a problem with us.
instructing hospital workers not to say anything about casualties and all that, not to talk to the press. Is it a lie? This is a fact-finding tribunal, and I think you should be interested in it. You are a Nigerian.
I've told you I'm not.
You are a Nigerian.
I've just said I'm not.
If your relation were a victim, then you see this more than just illegal semantics.
I've just said everything you have said now. I'm not opposed.
You set up a tribunal to find out the truth, and Lagos State government lawyers, Mr. Owonipoko and Mr. Enitan, senior advocates of
Where are
Nigeria,
you sending this to?
they think that it's a joke. It's not a joke. We want to establish what happened on that day. And it's not going to be swept under the carpet of making award to people. You say take 1 million, take 2 million. I think we've had enough of the tribunal's time today. We seek an adjournment for this witness to continue.
Further hearing in the evidence of Sarah Ibrahim on the Lekki investigation of incidents of 20th October 2020 is adjourned to 8 May 2021.
It's me, my lord.
Yes, please.
It's me. We are grateful. I'll send this. No, I'm sending it. No.
May you please stand in manner. Appears on the island front.